Our first speaker is Swagata Haldar, and she's coming from chemistry background and doing her PhD in the cognition lab at the Indian Institute of Science with Dr. Sridhar Devarajan in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Today, she will be talking about sensitivity versus criterion mechanisms underlying attentional blink. Stage is yours, Swagata.
It's good to go. I'll start.
Yep, yes, please.
Yeah. Thanks for the nice introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Shagata, as she mentioned, a graduate student in Cognition Lab under Dr. Sridharan Devarajan in the Indian Institute of Science. Today, I'm here to talk about sensitivity versus criterion mechanism underlying attentional blink. So before delving into what attentional blink, let's see what is attention. So attention is the cognitive process which helps us to select information which is behaviorally relevant. And there are two key components of attention. One is perceptual sensitivity and two is decisional bias. What do I mean by that? Sensitivity is the improvement of the sensory processing of the information from the attended stimulus, whereas bias is the selective gating of the information from the attended stimulus. Let me give you an example which will help you to understand it better. Imagine you are in a jungle and there is a chameleon. You are a prey of this chameleon. So in this situation, attention can help you in two ways. So you could enhance your sensitivity, which will help you to perceive the stimulus better and more clearly. And on the other hand, your prior knowledge tells you that chameleon is more likely to be above the branch, not below. So you could alternatively enhance your bias to select the information from the relevant location. Here, the relevant location is above the branch and put more weightage for that information for your decision making. Or you could use a combination of both sensitivity. You could enhance sensitivity as well as bias. Now, in order to measure them, we need to quantify them. How to quantify them? There is a conventional theoretical framework which helps us to do that, known as signal detection theory. So very briefly, in signal detection theory, there are signal and noise distributions, which are modeled as univariate Gaussian distributions. And the x-axis is decision variable, represent decision variable. The difference between the mean of these two distribution, noise and signal, is known as sensitivity or D prime. And the other component, that is bias, is measured by criterion. Criterion is a flexible decision threshold. And in a, a higher criterion means a lower tendency to report signal. And a higher D prime or sensitivity means a greater ability to distinguish signal from noise. Now, in this study, we will going to talk about sensitivity and bias or criterion in the light of attentional blink. So let's see what is attentional blink. So attentional blink is mainly studied using RSVP paradigm. This is a rapid stream of visual stimuli with two targets as shown on the left, embedded in distractors. In this example, the targets are letters and the numbers are distractors. And the subjects and the task of the subject is to report the two targets. Now, what happens? The subjects often fail to report the second target if it appears very close in time to the first target. This inability to report, the target two when it comes very close in time to the first target is known as attentional blink. Now, on the right, you see the similar fact shown in a quantified manner, that we have a plot showing the accuracy of the subjects reporting target 2 as a function of inter-target lag or T1, T2 lag. And you can see there is a drop when the inter-target interval is short. Does this drop occur because the subjects were unable to detect the occurrence of the target, that is detection deficit, or they are not able to identify the letter, suppose as being an A, because they could not able to discriminate its feature, that is discrimination deficit. This begs the question that the reduced ability of processing target 2 in Blink is because of detection deficit or discrimination deficit. And if it is detection deficit, is it because of changes in sensitivity or impaired sensitivity to detect the target 2, or is it because of higher criterion to report the target? On the other hand, if it is a discrimination deficit, is it because the impaired sensitivity is to discriminate the two signal classes or features, or is it because of the higher criterion to report the target class? In this case, it's a letter. Now, so our goal in this study was to investigate whether attentional blink was a detection or discrimination deficit or both, and second, to test whether this deficit affects sensitivity or criterion or both. These are the two main aims. Now, to address these questions, we designed a task paradigm, which is as follows. Now, the task starts with a fixation dot followed by a plate distractor. Then target 1 appears with a clear oriented grating. Then again, the plate distractor comes up on the screen and stays for variable duration. Please note this duration. Uh, this duration, if this duration is short, then we expect attentional blink to occur. Now, again, target 2 comes on screen, followed by the reappearance of the plate distractor, and the trial ends. Also note the target 2 can appear either in high contrast or low contrast. And if the contrast is high, then it is actually full contrast. Whereas if the contrast is low, then it is staircased across subjects for a particular accuracy, in this case, 70%. Then the subject responds to sequential responses for target 1 and target 2. For target 1, the response, whether the orientation of the grating is closer to the cardinal axis or diagonal axis. But for target 2, they respond with three choices. If they perceive, then whether it is clockwise or counterclockwise. If they do not perceive target 2 at all, then with a no T2. One point to mention here, any stimulus in this particular task doesn't stay on screen continuously. It stays on for 70 millisecond and off for 30 millisecond, that is followed by a blank for 30 millisecond. And therefore, it's a typical RSVP paradigm. The stimulus presentation rate is 10 Hertz. Now, after designing the task, we have collected the data, and to analyze the behavioral response of target 2, that is where blink happens, and to estimate sensitivity and criterion, we developed a novel multidimensional framework, signal detection theory framework, which I'll be explaining briefly. So the model looks like this. There is a it is a two-dimensional model. The two axes represents decision variable for detection and discrimination. And signal and noise distributions are represented at bivariate Gaussian distributions. The gray distribution here is the noise distribution, which corresponds to no target 2 trials. That means where no target 2 is represented on that trial. The red and blue distributions represent signal distribution for clockwise and counterclockwise responses. These are for low contrast stimuli, whereas for similarly, we have also two distributions for high contrast stimulus, blue for clockwise and red for counterclockwise and red for clockwise. The difference between the noise and the signal distribution along detection axis is known as detection sensitivity. Whereas the difference between between the two signal distributions, that is clockwise and counterclockwise, along discrimination axis or x-axis is known as the discrimination sensitivity. Now, because there are three choices to make, we have defined decision surface that partitions the decision space into 3 zones. You can see these 3 zones. Now, the upper right zone is for clockwise response, the upper left zone is for counterclockwise response, and the lower zone is for no target to response. Now the decision surface are parameterized by detection criterion and discrimination criterion. The detection criterion, just one moment. The detection criterion measures the displacement of this decision surface along the detection axis, which is known as detection criterion. Whereas if you see this line, there's the discrimination criterion. This measures the displacement along the discrimination axis. Now, after measuring this, we wanted to see how these components vary across lags. That is, as a function of inter-target interval, whether in presence of blink versus in absence of blink. Now, before I present the result, I would like to clarify one thing. That is, I have tested many models with various constraints on the parameters, and I'm going to present the result of the model which best fits the data according to Arkine information criterion, or AIC. When we look at the, so if you see, first look at the sensitivity. Here the x-axis are T1, T2 lag or inter-target lag, and the y-axis are discrimination sensitivity and detection sensitivity. So when you look at the sensitivity as a function of inter-target interval, there is an effect of blink in both detection and discrimination sensitivity. Interestingly, the impairment in detection sensitivity, that is the right plot you can see, is higher for the higher contrast than the the impairment in for the detection sensitivity is higher for the lower contrast, but such contrast effect we have not seen for the discrimination sensitivity. It does not vary across contrast. So to summarize, blink impaired both detection and discrimination sensitivity in our data. Second, we looked at criterion. In criterion result, we mainly observed the plots are the similar. So x-axis is T1, T2 lag, and y-axis is discrimination criterion and detection criterion. Here we observed that blink impaired detection criterion, but not the discrimination criterion. And this brings me almost to the end of the talk. The summary is...
you have less than a minute. It's just like 30 seconds, maybe.
Yeah.
Please summarize it. Yeah.
So attention blink manifests as a deficit in both detection and discrimination sensitivity, but only in detection criterion, but not discrimination criterion. And it can be shown in this following schema as well. So thank you. This is the end of the talk, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Zivarata, for the nice talk, but unfortunately we don't have time.